Yes.
And we should be live. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. Our goal today, defeat hell. If we get a chance to mess around with the other stuff, I'll take it. If not, I'll probably do a bonus stream on the weekend where we get to mess around with the higher end equipment we transferred over and kind of mess around with that a little bit. At least that's the goal. So we'll be able to mess around with this stuff later on. I don't know if we're going to have enough time, but we'll see. Passing by to say hi before going to make a sandwich. Ooh. Hopefully it's a good sandwich. And not one of those ones with like sardines on it or something. Which, oddly enough, I have to mention because I saw one recently. It was like peanut butter, sardines, and chips and like barbecue sauce or some crap like that. Totally scarred me for life. But hopefully you're doing well, Bells. Let's see. We are just gonna hope we get a Black Marsh skip, by the way. Greetings, Taladon. I wouldn't really call my Warlock venerable, but maybe vulnerable because he doesn't really have any attacks of his own. The Arcfey sent you to collect. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have a soundbite for it. Otherwise, I would totally oh no. You knew. Pay your taxes or lose all puns. Oh, is this gonna be a Gricko moment where you take my best joke? No. That's something a mind goblin would do. Moist. I might actually just make a library of different moists for that one. It might stick around permanently. I don't know yet. We will be back. Oh, Lord. Do I think we really have much of a threat here in this act? I don't think so. I don't think anything here is going to be terribly bad. It is very weird for me right now because the past few days, because I think I was getting an ear infection, for those of you that are curious. Past few days, I've been using headphones instead of earbuds because of it. And for some reason, these headphones feel so much quieter. Let's see, panini, ham, tomato, moss thumb, bits of salad accompanied by smoked truet. Sounds interesting. That doesn't sound bad. It's a cheese and meat and veggie sandwich. Don't know what truet is. And heated a bit? Yeah. I have a soft spot for grilled sandwiches, so you're not... I do enjoy just a nice toasty. I also enjoy here in the States, I usually get a thing called a spicy Italian, zesty Italian, whatever you want to call it. Usually has Italian in the name. But usually I have that toasted with some pepper jack and all that other fun stuff, some jalapenos. Let's see. About to head to bed, up all night leveling a Blaze Sorceress. 5 more levels till she can use Sunder. Snatched one from... Oh! One of the classic Sunders. Oh, Trout. I know what Trout is. That still sounds good. I'm not opposed to fish on, like, a principle. I am opposed to sardines and anchovies. And I forget which one it was on the thing that I saw. It was one of those two. If I have to eat the bones of the fish, I'm not too happy about it. But hey, Blaze Sorceress is not as bad as she used to be. And also, generally speaking, if you're running a Blaze Sorceress, you can very easily duel that into an Enchantress. So, you've decided to make your College of Dance Bard a heavy-set dwarven woman with 1 dip in monk, so she can grapple any man she dances next to, get an advantage on each subsequent attack and anything she dances with while singing the Valkyrie. Okay. That is a vibe, oddly enough. I can see that one. For some reason, also, like, part of me thinks that she should have some kind of tuba or something. A large instrument. Not like a lute or anything like that. You know what she should be singing, right? Rick Astley. Just straight up, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Ooh, bagpipes would be a good one too, yeah. Just an organ, like, on her back. Or, hear me out, some kind of character that could carry her on his back with an organ. Like a barbarian friend or something. Possibly, I'm trying to think what the name of the one is. It's like escaping my brain. Goliaths, there we go. Grilled cheese steakums. Gotta have thin shaved steak if you're gonna be doing grilled cheese kind of stuff with it, though. Yeah, buy a box of steakums are similar. Cook the 2 of them. After flipping, add cheese, put on bread, and put it in a pan. Yeah, steakums, if I remember correctly, are shaved steak, are they not? Or am I misremembering? I could very well be misremembering. You'll make her either... You'll make her shatter just her stomping on the ground while lifting. She's a rocket. She's gonna rocket your face apart. Flat slices, yeah. It's been a while since I've had actual, like, Steakums brand. I remember for a while there, it wasn't selling super well. I don't know if it's selling well now, but I would say it's right before COVID hit, it started selling like crazy. Cook them whole, some people break them up in the pan. One thing I want to try, I keep seeing this pop around on like recipe channels, is you get some beef mince, you get some seasoning, garlic, all that fun stuff, and you flatten it out, like super flat with some parchment paper and roll it up into a little roll. Usually there's people mislabeling it as a gyro and stuff like that. Generally going a Greek dish with it. You could do a lot of things with that if you season it differently than, because most of the current ones are going off of the same video, unfortunately, so they're doing the same recipe. But you really could turn that into any kind of thin steak if you really wanted to. Have it be fairly tasty. But yeah, I settled on, as far as, speaking of bards, on the other discussion, I have settled on calling the class that has Bard in it Performer now. Because there's going to be a Jester class, there's going to be a Juggler. Right now it's Juggler, Dancer, Bard, but I intend to have a Jester probably not in version 1, but probably as I start expanding the classes further. I have it in my notes, but first classes to get done are going to be Fighter, Rogue, Elementalist, and I forgot what I called the other one. It's the one with the Cleric. Second round is going to be things like basically an inventor slash apothecary kind of character. Sounds good for you with the grilled cheese steakums. It's all about grilling it. The leftover juices of the steakums makes it so much better. Yeah, you always want to get the like pan drippings and stuff. I don't care what you're cooking like that. The pan drippings take it from just like okay to great. There is a reason I cook the way I do. Can I bake? No. But can I cook? Yes. I make a good soup. I make a good stew. I make decent enough pizza. I'm not good at making crusts because baking. But as far as making sure that the toppings all get done just the right amount, I'm pretty good at getting that one. Anything that involves exceptional amounts of measuring that I suck at because I get very easily distracted, as you could probably tell by my commentary. That is an alders. Believe that. No, it's dangoons. I don't know why I was thinking alders. Yeah, anything where I have to measure shit, I'm useless. So don't expect that from me. Dangoons! Dangoons. You know this is a bad sign, right? It's a very bad sign. Yeah, we only have the one exit. We don't have a skip. God. We have gotten fairly consistently good luck with it, so I shouldn't be complaining. I just hate Great Marsh. It's got my least favorite enemy in it. Well, I do think our mercenary is going to be having a very bad day. We're going to be getting some healing potions for him. I'm going to just drop you guys across. Can I actually do that through the wall? I can do that through the wall, too? Oh, damn, son. Have a good one. I would say your name, but that is not a sound bite that I want to have floating around on the internet. Unless it is specifically to torment someone I stream with. Because then I can at least put it into some really disturbing contexts. With background music. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep dumping healing potions on him while he is poisoned. But have a good naps. Okay, so now we drop that on you. Along with that. Get ourselves a little bit of gold here. Don't care about either of those. Feral Axe is actually something you can craft into something nice. There's a very, 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 very slim chance of it. But you can. Hello, Kane. We don't care about you. Hello. Trade to sell those. Let us go get something out of a golden bird's ash hole. Praise! Praise be to you. Do I think Act 3 is going to be terrible for us? No, but we are going to probably have to deal with Gloams. We didn't see any in Great Marsh yet, but, buddy, it's going to suck.
Hello.
From the golden bird, from the ashes of Quile, I've made you a potion. Why are we drinking Quile's ashes? That's just nasty, sir.
Good to see you.
It's gross. Hello. Yes, we'll talk to you. Hello. Dengoons just goes into the junk pit. It's not a bad weapon. It just doesn't scale as well as other options. If you find this while you're just running through, it's actually an okay little melee. Just use it on your zealot or something kind of weapon. Obviously, getting some crushing blow on a swap or something like that is better, but it's good for finishing things off. Mainly because that plus max damage does add up. Thing is, you very quickly outclass it. Very quickly. Okay, back to Speedari Forest. The only way we would have... Yeah, we don't have a skip. And the only way we could have a skip is if that broke off at the bottom. And it did not. Walking stick is probably worth some money. Again, don't really care too much. Do not need the money. That said, transferring your gold from freaking... Actually, no, that's a dimensional blade. If it was a phase blade, I'd actually save a 3-socket one. Because I think I'm getting a little low on those. I need to actually read the map while I'm going through this stuff. I was like, oh, I can just... No, I can't cross there because there isn't a bridge. There's no bridge over that troubled water. Like a bridge over troubled water. I can't sing for shit. Yeah, I mean, we're going to probably get up into the 80s. Even if we leave it on players 1. I am just going to be trying to go to the next zone as quickly as possible. And we have gloves. You guys take care of that. Yeah, we're just trying to get through this area as quickly as possible with as few gloam fights as possible as well. There are some potential paths that we could land on that could take us through some of these alternate ways. We need glooms down first because they can just get everybody in trouble. And no, we got the locked chest. Any keys? Nope. We don't get no stinking keys. The gold chest isn't even worth it for us. It's a sham. So it's east or north as far as the way out. Chances are it's gonna be east, but it could very easily just be like that branch could have gone off to the north a little bit and been a goal as well. Are we looking on potions? Not great. We're going to be going through a lot because of these idiots. Mainly because I'm going to have to heal from it because our lightning resist it's decent. But mostly it's going to be keeping Mercenary alive. That one's probably to the way... no. If we have one to the waypoint, it's going to be on this side. We do want to stay on the north side of the river as much as possible because it'll just butt into this other one if Actually had a path to it. Thankfully, we haven't gotten a massive group of gloams yet. We are getting mana burned by nonsense, but that's actually not a problem. We don't care about keeping that in there. We will keep that. Yeah, we're looking for Flayer. There can't be too many more. Ooh, Blasphemous Compendium. Probably absolute garbage. It is just magic, but that is not what I wanted to do. We now have a backup town portal here in case the unthinkable happens. This is not going to go anywhere. The branch to the left, we could pop in there and see if it's the waypoint. But how often do you use this waypoint? Tell me, do you ever come to Blasted Great Marsh for anything? Ever? Didn't think so. This is the least loved segment of the game. Although the most worthless waypoint is still Halls of the Dead 2 on Nightmare in Hell. At least this you sometimes have to pass through. Let's see, you have hereby made this horrible framework for a character in D&D Beyond. You don't know how this even plays, but let's be fair. If you get to pay a heavy-set dwarven woman who manhandles all the enemies she comes across, then it works mechanically as it should. I mean, yeah. If it's fun, it's working. At least that's my view on it. I don't care if my characters are like really optimized these days. I will make bad decisions for good roleplay. A lot of the times. Even though people do sometimes say that I min-max, I really don't. If I want a frail old guy, I'm going to make him low strength. If I want a charismatic swab buccaneer, I will do that. I think the sorcerer that I made for Grim Hollow is a little bit too tilted into charisma, but that's only because I couldn't like. If I could like do it, I didn't even think to ask the DM if I could. If I could have made him an int-based sorcerer, I would have, or even a wisdom-based sorcerer, but that would require actually like going well outside the scope of normal character building. She gets to do random unarmed strikes that grapples people, and she can dance, move full movement, and still drag people without getting half movement punishment. Basically just doing a forced tango with a minotaur. Okay. I need out of this place. Are you not entertained? I'm having so many different mental images in my head. I can see her like grabbing a large creature and doing that. Funnily enough, the only thing that I have a question about on that build is what is the stat distribution on it? Because grappling is strength. That I know. Which is not a stat that a lot of bards really go into. It can work, don't get me wrong. It's just not one that I normally associate with bards. Grappling is dex for monks in 24. Ah, okay. Then that makes sense. Full dex grapple. You are jujitsuing their asses while dancing. I saw you. I saw that gloam. At least the escape is DC'd on Dex. Acrobatics. I will go look at your sandwich in a minute. That sounded wrong. I'm scratching my back first, though. And grapples are just tied to any unarmed attack. I am just... There we go. Back scratcher, best investment in the existence of humankind. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but in the entire existence of humankind. Back scratcher be best scratcher. Let's go look at that sandwich. Ooh, it's a sandwich. Looks tasty to me. Of course, I just had burritos, but I'm already hungry again. Oh, we had to get super freaking poisoned again. Yee. Bitches. Get some stitches. And yeah, we are going to just be poisoned this entire time because we have the frogs. Let's see. And then the escape is Dex plus 8 plus proficiency DC instead of the strength plus 8 plus prof. Okay. What level is this thing at? Out of curiosity. Ta-da! There's another level. More vitality. We're gonna go... I'm gonna actually start going into Deathmark to get your crushing blow percents up. So that's gonna make bosses easier is the goal. Let's see. You can set it up for 5th level, so 4 levels, Bard, and 1 Monk, since you need to be a feat grappler for it to really take off. Okay. Please tell me you are going to be paired with a druid. Get some, like, spike growth going on. Unarmed strike, stepping on their toes. Druid with spike growth. Instant cheese grater. That's the waypoint. We actually did want that. This is such a weirdly laid out forest this time. I really don't know what's up with it. This is actually not a terrible farming spot, by the way. Swampy Pit. I personally don't use it very often, but there are a few classes that can farm there. Drags Minotaur through spike growth or in and out of spiritual guardians. Nighttime, nighttime. Oh man. Didn't they this is a random note. Did they not if I keep hearing that they made it so Kenkus can actually just talk normal in 2024. Please tell me it's not true. Hey Queen, how you doing? It's been a while. Hopefully things have been going all right for you. Dropping all kinds of pain in here. It's been busy, yeah. So I've been a little bit frantic here lately too. Although I still did set aside enough time to be that asshole this morning. I got a wrong order. Like, they sent me the wrong product. And what they sent me works fine for what I got it for. It's a 30 some odd dollars shelf. It is not fancy garbage. It is, in fact, the exact opposite of fancy. It is functional as fucking cheap. But they I just went on there and was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something. I'm going to try and get the $5 difference. Just to see if I can get them to do it. Because frankly, I ordered I think it was a $35 thing, and they sent me the $30 version. Fine. Wrong color. That doesn't matter. I don't give a shit about the color. But I finally, oddly enough, gave up whenever they just said they are not going to make me have to return the one that I got. Instead, they're going to just send me a replacement. And my brain this entire time is just going, so you're going to spend $35 instead of giving me, like, I would even settle for a $5 store credit. It doesn't need to be anything back on it. It's just like, what? Big companies and not giving. I don't know if it was the person didn't have the ability to give a credit, or if we're gonna go and talk to him, or if the person just didn't know how. So I'm gonna end up with 2 shelving units. I only have space for one, so I'm gonna figure out something to do with the second one, but hopefully it's the one I actually ordered. If not, I have 2 short ones. Let's see. Spiritual Guardian is changed to and when the creature enters the area for the first time on turn or starts its turn there, it must make a wisdom saving throw. Okay, so you can go full bard dancing with Spiritual Guardians. That sounds about right. Spiritual Guardians. It's a win still, yeah. I might actually get the shelving thing that I wanted. I'm not too bothered by it. I just find it so ridiculous, and I have to wonder how much money do these companies lose by not actually having customer service that can just do that. Because I know the retail place I worked at was kind of the same situation. We would often spend far more money just not doing what was the cheapest way. Because nothing says love like 500 pounds of dwarf lady and a spiritual backup dancers. Ooh. Now you have to decide what your spirit guardians look like. This is going to be something that you'd actually have to coordinate with a bunch of people. But I do think a burlesque D&D party would be awesome. I think that would be hilarious. That just seems like an interesting thing to go through. The burlesque dancers that saved the world. Yeah, they do have insurance. It's just, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember the exact logic behind it, but the regional actually literally told us to throw out, it was very weird. They wanted us to throw out some things that obviously could survive unrefrigerated whenever the refrigeration went down once. But that was because they wanted to get the insurance claim over a certain amount. And once it got past that certain amount, they just, okay, don't throw out this, this, and this. And they just started listing off things that actually did have to stay refrigerated because I'm in the US. They actually didn't want us to toss eggs because they had already crossed that point. It's very weird whenever people that don't do any of the food safety stuff are in charge of deciding what gets thrown out whenever things start going wrong. Make the weirdest decisions on stuff like that? Yes, without a doubt. But yeah, the guy thought that we had to throw away stuff like... A good example would be Sunny Delight. Sunny Delight is generally fine for a fairly decent length of time out of refrigeration. Even if it is opened as well. But whereas they didn't want us throwing away like yogurt. Yogurt is okay, but it had been out for a good like 2 hours. There was some creams and stuff like that they didn't want thrown out. I flat out told them I'm not going to obey that because I'm not going to get people sick. Yeah, I liked Sunny D when I was a kid. It tastes way different these days. It just tastes like syrup. And that might just be my taste buds changing, but damn. That is one thing I do regret about leaving, is because I had been with the company long enough and actually had this kind of like length of experience behind me that I could get away with saying no and stuff like that. I think if I went back now, I wouldn't be able to do that. Good God, what is with the like super poisons? This is his last magic ring. Was it any good? It's not terrible. It's not great, though. We're not going to use it. Why is my hard drive going off? You're dealing with creatures who live in a sewer dungeon. Super poison is part of it. I mean, yes, but mechanically broken poison. There's this weird thing with like how poison is applied sometimes that results in it doing like orders of magnitude more damage per second and having just an unreasonable long duration. And I'm not sure what actually causes it. But it's the situation where it actually damages faster than my healing potions can even heal. Like right now, we don't really have super poison on the mercenary. He would probably die in a heartbeat if he did. Where did our Oh. I know our mercenary's around here somewhere. There he is. I know I saw him peeking around the corners somewhere. Lightning resist 6. Do we actually have a low lightning res? We got a 4%. No, we don't have a low lightning res. I was thinking maybe we could replace that. Oh, lordy. I will not miss super poison. I'm really surprised our goatmen are staying alive in all this. I was expecting them to go back into we're gonna die to everything mode. But no. They're just chilling. And these guys are the ones that are doing it. Okay, so this should be the stairs. Okay, next spot. I wish I could like just actually remember the different layouts that these can be in. But I only come down here whenever it's absolutely necessary for story progression, so it's one of those things where my brain just goes, nah, we don't care about this. Is it this way? Yeah, that should be... Yeah. And we want to take the Greaves. Let's see. You've installed a mod that doubles the monster spawns and a mod that spawns unique monsters 10 times more. Still suck on Act 2 normal. Too damn difficult. I can see that being a slog. That just sounds like... I know there was features for that in the randomizer thing from a while back. I didn't bother turning them on, but yeah, it had spawn counts and stuff like that modifying on top of randomization options that you could turn on or off. It was really well made. I don't know if they kept it up to date. But there are some fun ones. Okay. Onwards, into the east. As we deal with more poison. Do we have another healing potion down here? No, of course not. Three healing potions later. Running away from all the beetles was fun? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, beetles are always fun. Especially whenever you can actually do reasonable amounts of damage, so they're always proccing that. Really what you want to do is dots on them. I see you there, bud. I do like that our cursed attack is an AoE. And yeah, the only ones that end up with the super poison are the little rat bastards down here. The greater mummies can get them as well. Oh, you're actually slightly low on life. I'm hoping that we... Oh, wait, we got no longer fear poison. Nice. We still got to fear poison. Let's see. Duck those in there. Go like that. Down the stairs. Nah, fam. This curse over here is just on a couple of frogs under the water. I don't know why I went full Mitch Hedberg there. Escalator now stairs. Sorry for the convenience. I actually do not remember the whole setup for that joke. But yeah, the place that I would probably dread with like the 3 times or 2 times monster mobs, like monster mods for this, would probably be Flayer Jungle or City of the Damned. Because there's some... You can get some really thick packs of enemies. How thick are your packs of enemies? Molasses. Oh, now that's just making me think of freaking... whatchamacallit? D&D's magic. The fact that, like, slow is molasses because molasses is slow. You have stuff like Fireball, which is just batshit crazy, so it uses batshit. Black Marsh, you can skip, thankfully. Usually. If you can't skip it, you can just re-roll another map. Guano is also expensive? Yes. In real life, at least. Guano! Well, everything in here is dead now.
I can't carry anymore.
We'll drink that. We will take the Grand Charm. Identify. Don't care about it. We're trying to get into the central area. That's where the chest is going to be on this map. You think you need carrots for the dark vision spell? Yep. There is... I'm trying to think what other, like the alarm spell is literally you just need the stuff you need to make an alarm. It's a piece of string and a silver bell or something like that. I find that kind of stuff hilarious. Okay, we're going to take the brain. I do want to see if that is... We're going to just drop these real quick. Nah, we're not going to mess with that. We could. There are some funny things you could do with that. We might come back down for it. Fleece for the eyes of the enemies affected by the sleep spell. Yep. Let's see. You go in there. Because I don't know when I'm going to get stuff swapped back over to, like, get everybody into the Warlock one. I might not even bring all the characters over to it. I don't know yet. I might just bring, like, one of each class and leave everybody else back in the OGs. Oh, my OGs. Okay, do we need any of that? No, we're full there. No, I think we're good to keep going. Trying to think what the dumbest one is, though. Water breathing uses a straw? I did not remember that one. That's a fun one. Just the freaking Robin Hood kind of vibe going on there. Not the Men in Tights version, though. That is actually a good Robin Hood as well. The cartoon version with the rooster. I should go and watch that again. I don't know if I have a copy anywhere, though. Goodness knows that I have more than spent my fair share on that movie, though. We do have probably enemies over here because we did not clear this out. A fruit tart and a feather for hideous laughter. I think cream pie. Cream pie sounds familiar. As far as D&D. Heathens. Sorry. Oh, Lord. I think that's the first time that I've felt the need to say heathens in that tone on stream. I do find that the internet has ruined me aspect of my existence is far less existent right now. I did used to be a community manager, so I used to have to be like on point with that crap. Now it's just kind of like I do catch myself being, oh, you sweet summer child levels of naive at times while just saying crap on stream. I suppose I shouldn't look as that as a bad thing. That just means I haven't been exposed to it as much anymore. Oh, Lord. I am still a super mature person who laughs at dick and fart jokes, so I don't think it'll ever go away completely, but damn. Okay, we need to look for the exit to this place because this area does not matter. Although getting lower Caress waypoint is handy if we were going to be going for runes. I don't really intend to go for runes on this guy right now. I can transfer in most of what I need. Okay, so is it bottom or is it this other? Is it? Yeah. I don't think it's going to be down here. Because there's the river. So it's up, down, and then we go over to middle. Do I care about Lam Essam's tome? Eh. We're gonna get it. I don't think we particularly need it. Oh, and I am still on the fence because we ended up on a draw. I'm still on a fence between Wild Arms and Shadowheart. With an S. I think Shadowheart might have the more interesting story of the two. But Wild Arms has a bit more of a cult following. And I will eventually cover them both. Depends on whether it's probably going to be one of those things where I literally decide on the day and I'm just fighting with the emulator to get one running. That said, getting Wild Arms running is going to be easier than getting Shadowhearts running. But I do have them both ripped and on the drives. Another project that I was thinking of doing, yes, because I need one more project, is actually going through and covering the entirety of PlayStation Magazine. If I could do it reliably, I would also do Sega Channel. But Sega Channel, there's people who have been working on, I believe, an emulated version of it. But if I wanted to do it the way that I remember Sega Channel doing, I'd probably have to do something myself. Like, darn near from scratch. Because I remember Sega Channel during its like heyday when you regularly did it. It was just like different interface and all kinds of cool stuff on there. It was basically a digital magazine with demos, except the demos were the entire freaking game. There's the sewer. We're not going to go in the sewer until we get the waypoint. Whichever one is closest, we go to. Lam Essam's tome is probably going to be in the upper half of this, but yeah, there's Lam Essam's. And there's the waypoint. Everything's all nice in a little bundle over here. Ooh, I wonder if the council's going to be a real pain in the ass or not. I think if we can focus down the bad ones first with our dudes, we should be fine. But that's a big if I can actually, you know, be good at targeting crap. I just tried to WASD controlling that for some reason. I don't know why.
Thanks.
Jewel, yeah, we'll take it. Mercenary, can you not be dying to poison for just like 2 seconds? Keep getting engorged. We keep getting in George. Council has spoken. Wololo. Unfortunately, I don't have Wololo on my soundboard, but I do have. I drop down in here. I do actually have. Let me go find it.
All hail, King of the Losers!
That one. Wololo. Because I am the nerd who has actually been using my soundboard on the Discord. But back into the ruined temple. Ow. We might lose mercenary here. Definitely losing mercenary here. Yep, we lost mercenary. Gosh darn it, golly gee willikers. After I went all that trouble of going back up there and getting him healed. He's gonna be expansive too.
Hello there. Now that what do you need?
At least they don't have that. Well, actually, I need to check if the Act 1 mercenaries still have the bug. But there was a bug with the Act 1 mercenaries where they were like 10% too expensive. This is thankfully an Act 2 mercenary, so we probably don't have that. Okay, duck deck back down there, back in here. I will summon more of you. We will do this easy way. See, I don't even have to look at the enemies to cheese my way through it. This is what needs to be patched to keep this guy from being completely broken. See, we didn't even have to come in there to actually fight them. I've just been choosing to. Because that feels more like the intended way to play. That doesn't mean it actually is. Okay, back to town. We drop off our full rejuves. Every single time I look over there at the comment about Black March instead of Marsh, I immediately... Oh, we're going to ruin it. I immediately am thinking of freaking Ogre Battle.
So, Lamb Essen discovered
Reign of the Warlock for a reason, yeah.
of a demon.
It's also generally good practice if you're releasing a DLC that you actually want people to buy, that you make the DLC stuff slightly stronger than the base game and then you nerf it back down. But yeah, March of the Black Queen is what's coming into my brain every single time I see that. I know it was just a typo, but now I'm all of a sudden thinking, I should play that again. The question becomes, do I play the version that I know I like less because it's newer, it is more popular, and it has a better crafting system. Hate to say it, it does. That is its one redeeming quality for me, is that you don't have as much RNG in the craft. That said, everything else is better in the previous two versions of Tactics Ogre. Would I play Ogre Battle on stream? I don't know. I have beaten it way back in the day, but that was with a guide. I do not remember how to beat it. And I know that's one of those that you will get 3/4 of the way through and you will hit the wall if you did dumb shit. Which is not a good feeling in a game. It's kind of like over-leveling in Final Fantasy VIII. If that makes sense to folks. Okay, so nothing over there. Nothing over there. We're going to go counterclockwise this time. And yes, I am intentionally teleporting them ahead because I do not want to run into like half the crap that can spawn down here. Because I am feeling lazy today. It's not a difficulty thing. It is I am literally just feeling lazy today. Overleveled in Final Fantasy VIII is very bad. That's one reason why we did... We almost didn't... I'm trying to think how many fights we actually even had in Final Fantasy VIII. Outside of the early grinding for tornado stuff, like the fish grind and stuff like that. We really did not do much fighting in that, except in places where it was mandatory to fight. And for my Nostalgia Bait review on that, I am 100% going to be mentioning the leveling situation in it. Because I think it was a cool idea implemented very badly. Because up to that point, with a few exceptions, I have to point out there have been exceptions. There were other games that did this. But up to that point, with very few exceptions, the JRPG genre, the turn-based JRPG at least, used leveling as a sort of release valve for difficulty. I don't know if everyone making JRPGs was intentionally aware of that being the case, but from a design perspective, most did utilize the leveling system like, oh, I'm having trouble with this. I'm going to go grind for 3 or 4 more levels. All of a sudden, it is a reasonable boss fight. That is a difficulty slider obscured by mechanics. And I actually really enjoy that aspect of turn-based RPGs. Having that release valve, having random battles, even if they're optional random battles, like in, for example, Chrono Trigger is actually a really good example of a way to do it without random battles. But Final Fantasy Tactics, you can do pseudo-random battles as well. We got some pretty gnarly poison there. We also have really crappy poison resist. Grab healing potions. How are we looking? We're looking fine. But yeah, leveling up through grinding was the release valve in those. It was the difficulty select. And I get that you want people to experience your game in X, Y, and Z way. That is understandable. It is pureness to your vision. But just like D&D, just like a lot of other things, games are a collaborative medium by their nature. Made a difficulty mod for Final Fantasy Tactics PSP version. To ramp up the difficulty or to ramp it down. Because I know people who had difficulty with it and other people who didn't. Give Ramsa the Blade of Ruin to have some fun. I didn't play much of the PSP version of Tactics, mind you. I'm OG PS1 with that. I think that's one reason why I wasn't as bothered by those not being in the remaster. The Final Fantasy Tactics remaster is actually, I think it is, I don't want to use the term gold standard, because for me, gold standard would be a lot more quality of life and a graphical upgrade. But as far as what you should aim for if you are just looking at the bare minimum for a remaster, Final Fantasy Tactics, and even Diablo 2 Resurrected before the Warlock thing was a good example of this is what a remaster should be. If you're wanting a remake, there are ways to do that as well. And there's been a few good remakes too. A lot of people are loving the Final Fantasy VII remakes, for example. I have not gone through them. I'm waiting for all three to release, and I'm just going to do them as one big slog. I will hate myself by the middle of the second one, possibly the third, especially if they give me motion sickness. It's just a good remaster, yes. People are doing plenty of mods for it, too. That's one advantage of it being on PC natively, is you'll have more people interested in making mods. Thank you for the Prime sub, by the way. Half a year. Good Lord. It is weird to think about how time flies. Literally, like, I look at some of the months as far as the, like, subs over on Twitch, and I'm just like, have I really been streaming that long? You don't give a shit for the Final Fantasy VII remake at all? I have the first two. I do actually have copies of them. I am waiting for the third to release. I will try and get it on PC because I would rather record it off of PC. I do have I have PS4's first one, but I got that as a gift. There are rumors of a 9 remake coming in. But yes, I appreciate the Prime. It really does help out a ton, by the way. Every little bit. I'm not sure how I would feel if they did a remake of 6. I consider the Pixel remaster a good faith effort towards a nice, like, modernization of it. That is fine. I have a feeling modern Square Enix, if they tried to give Final Fantasy VI the Final Fantasy VII remaster treatment, I think they'd fuck it up. That's also me being extremely biased because 6 is, despite the fact that I am very open about the fact that it is probably not the best RPG ever made, it is my favorite RPG ever made, if that makes sense. There are others that I acknowledge are objectively better freaking games. I just have so many strong memories of 6 that I have a very strong bias towards it. So I will end up probably reviewing a few RPGs better than I did with the 6 review. But 6 will always be that, like, it's in my heart, man. Pour one out for the homies level. Respect for that one. I started with Final Fantasy 1. Like, before we even knew it was going to have a number after it. That's where I started in Final Fantasy. So I don't really have the, oh, you prefer the one you started with. No, I'm too old for that. Let's see. Would you believe that the music got you first, then the story? Yes. I used to fall asleep to Celeste's theme. And the opera scene. There were a few songs that I wasn't super fond of, but that were okay. But I have the piano arrangement of Celeste. which is just, that is one of the most relaxing. It is right up there with the Tristram music as far as just things I can just chill to. So but yeah, Final Fantasy VI will always, I will go to my grave with a soft spot for that. So there is no avoiding it. I know people who prefer 4. I know people who prefer 7. I know people who prefer 9 and 12. A lot of them either started with those games or just preferred that genre more. I don't think the theory that everyone just goes after their first Final Fantasy is, I don't think it's fair. Because I know that's just not true. Personally, I always found 4 to be a bit too slow. Still a good game. We still haven't done it for Nostalgia Bait. So we will be going through it. I don't know which version I want to be covering. 4 and 3 are probably the ones that I'm most internally conflicted about which version to cover. 3, I will probably do the 3D version. There's a small chance I'll do the classic, just a fan translated version of the NES version. But as far as recording ease, the 3D version is going to be easier. As far as Final Fantasy IV, there's so many different versions of that. You were disappointed with Tactics Remastered because of the cut content from the PSP version, but looking at Square Enix right now, it's probably the best they can do. It's also there's a lot of reasons why they probably had that. I think that they were considering doing the PSP version. There is a level of respect to the original creator of Final Fantasy Tactics as to why they wouldn't. There's also the fact that the source code and stuff like that, not exactly complete. They had to actually remake some of that. That's why you get some little differences here and there. You started with 9, 7, 6, 8, 10, and then the rest in order. Ah. But yeah, I would have rather had them do, at the very least, the PSP classes with it. But all things considered, I'm not as bothered by it. I would have liked them. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what order I played them in. I know it was 1, 4, 6. And then I want to say it was Tactics or... Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of the freaking Game Boy one. Mystic Quest. It's either Tactics or Mystic Quest after 6. Then... No, wait. I played 7 before Tactics, so it would have been 1, 4, 6, 7. Then Tactics or Mystic Quest. And then whichever one was after that. Then we did Final Fantasy 8, 9. I played those in order. 10... I wanted to play 11, but ended up not doing it because it was MMO. Got 12, kind of burned out on the series. Took a huge gap, played a bunch of the side stuff, Tactics Advance, etc., etc., etc. Just hopped around some of the ones that were actually Saga games that were labeled as Tactics, did some emulation stuff, played through the OG2 fan translation that was absolutely super jank, played the PS1 version of 2 and loved it. Then did emulation for 3, played a little bit of the 3D version, didn't beat it on 3. I kind of skipped all around after that. But emulation would have been just after... As far as Final Fantasy goes, that would have been just after Final Fantasy 12. As far as emulating other stuff, there was stuff I was emulating in the 90s. Bahamut Lagoon is a big one that I kind of got me super hooked into emulation, as well as the original Front Mission. You watched the original 1 through 5, never played them. Never played 11. 11, I think, is still alive? Question mark? I'm not positive. It's one of those things where it's like, is 11 still around? Reason I was going to play 11 is I was actually... A bunch of people that I did Guild Wars with were hopping into 11. And there was like a lot of things that they were saying, like, you can customize your character so much. You weren't able to customize it as much as they were saying. Your second Square game was Einhander. Oh. That is a super expensive game to get nowadays. I have thought about covering it. It's not one of my holy grail games, even though it is super expensive, because it's not really... It's fun, but it's not a genre that I really go out of my way to play. Guys is a weird one to find, too. Square, before the thing with Enix, was a lot more willing to go into multiple genres. Rad Racer and stuff like that on the NES was the thing they did. They had a lot of different genres. Now it's pretty much... They do have stuff outside of it, but as far as like branded Square stuff, it's RPGs. We need to kill the High Council. And yes, I'm going to clear out stuff around these before we go diving in on them. I don't think the council's actually going to be that bad. I'm just mildly anticipating losing the mercenary. I don't want to lose Hephasto is the only thing I'm like actually concerned about. I can't take... Oh, because we have those gloves. Okay, everybody back off. Back them off. 14, I keep wanting to try, but... It's one of those... I tried a... Like, the free access. You can play it for free up to a certain level and yada, yada, yada kind of stuff. I played that. So it's a good game. I just can't see myself justifying the monthly fee for it, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I feel about like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. Even stuff like Allods, just the time commitment feels a little bit weird. I'm trying to bait these guys out. Hey, Affit, how you doing? Thank you for the 3 months. Who has 3 rats in his mind? I have Al the rats. I literally have cheese by my name on one server, by the way, so that is a very present joke for my name. You stopped playing Final Fantasy since 13? I know people are starting to come around on 13. I want to go through and beat 13 and 15. I am not looking forward to going through 15. If I do 15, there are optional dungeons that I physically will not be able to do. I think I can play the game. I don't think I'm going to get motion sickness from the game. But I was literally watching a friend play 15. Someone in chat right now was in there's chat as well. I was literally watching a friend play 15, a fellow reviewer. And I was getting physically ill watching their stream in one of the optional areas. Yes, the clusterfuck of a dungeon. I don't even remember the name of the dungeon. But modern Final Fantasy does not feel like what I kind of like grew up on with Final Fantasy. It's not, they're not bad games. They're just not Final Fantasies to me, if that makes sense. They're just good games that happen to be RPGs under Square's name that they're releasing it as Final Fantasy. It's kind of like Diablo 3 and Diablo. Is it a bad game? No. Is it a good Final Fantasy? Is it a good Diablo? Also, no. It's a good game if it was not called Diablo. Do I remember the details of the dungeon? Oh, I'm trying. You had to jump on the goddess's boobs. Yes, that is a good point. But it is a disorientation kind of Escher-esque dungeon. Starts with a P, I believe. I looked it up because I looked up the name of it while they were streaming it because I had to tell them if they were close to the end or not of that cluster of a dungeon. It is an optional dungeon. I could go grab the name of it. 'Cause it's probably still in my history, too. It is called Piteous Ruins. Yeah, there's a lot you can do in Final Fantasy 15, and for the most part, the game doesn't actually make me violently ill. That dungeon did. Because it kept swapping camera angles. I can play that for a few hours. I think when we do get to 15, I'm going to have to kind of cordon it off into, okay, we're going to play like 3 hours of this today. That is our hard limit. Otherwise, it'll knock me out to where I can't stream the next day. And that's with a normal one. But it is... Oh, no, do not. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send them through walls in here. Yeah, it's just one of those dungeons that I wouldn't be able to do that one. Especially considering it is like a 3 or 4 hour long dungeon on top of just being nauseating camera. Is it an ugly dungeon? No. It is kind of like gray box, but... Okay, so there's the stairs. So we know where we need to go. The question is... will the enemies let me get there without getting murked? Yeah, it's a 3 or 4 hour long dungeon. The speed runs for it are just like super short, but yeah, as far as the newer Final Fantasies not being fantasy, I wouldn't really say they're not fantasy so much as they're just not. They've gone from a steampunk-ish fantasy to more of a pop fantasy, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the pop music equivalent of fantasy. Everybody's got like their cool little outfits, and which is fine, but they seem more Nomura world than Final Fantasy. Why does Nomura sound super familiar? 15 just doesn't do much for me. I played the first few hours of 15. I mean, I know what I'm getting into with it whenever I actually do end up covering it. It's not like it's something that I am unfamiliar with. It's more just a situation of I've already bounced off of it a few times, if that makes sense. Arlian is the one that's been covering it as far as playing it lately. He usually covers more indie stuff, but I think someone convinced him to cover that or something, or he's covering it for someone. What happened to the main character? He's the guy who designed Kingdom Heart World and Final Fantasy VII, and after he has a belt fetish. I mean, who doesn't like a good belt, though? I mean, Exhibit Lulu. Just both hands gesturing in Lulu's general direction. Lulu! Vivi is the better black mage, yes. But Lulu. I'm sorry. I that's my only argument. It's just Lulu. Vivi will always be number one. He is the bestest boy. Freaking Esquier is a good boy. Vivi is bestest boy. Of course, Esquier is also just a giant wineskin. But yeah, I can't hate on Lulu. Although the aging thing is just all over the place. I don't get why she's the age she is in that game and already was a frickin' whatchamacallit before. A Gurdion. Okay, we are going to dump that in here. We're up to a 2 mil. I don't know if I'm going to use it. I did start work on custom artwork for the Final Fantasy IX Nostalgia Bait video. It is Vivi. He deserves it. He is going to be the poster boy of the thumbnail. Have a good day at work, Queen. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully things get to be a bit less hectic in life. You were missed. But I do understand. Life can get very busy. But be safe. Either way. That is not the way. We'll take some XP from down there, though. Trying to think what else, as far as like Final Fantasy rants, I could do. Oh, they're done down there. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I'm always kind of like bewildered when we have these massive rooms with no enemies in them. Always throws me off. Oh, geez, 2 birthdays in 1 month? Ouch. Feel that pain. Well, hopefully they had good birthdays.
It's locked. I need a key.
I know how much juggling that can be. Even though I don't have kids of my own. I have been godfather for a couple people. Well, that was ages ago, and due to life, we just kind of like don't really interact much these days, but that is just part of life, unfortunately. See you soon. Next time you see me, I might be doing an actual RPG. Do I consider Diablo an RPG? No, not really. It's a loot 'em up. It is a pants collector, even though pants don't actually drop. What are you guys trying to fight over there? Oh, just more cadavers. We're looking for the waypoint first, and we got it. Mainly because, you know, farming Mephisto's not necessarily a bad idea. Although we don't have to, we can just transfer in everything we need. That is one advantage of actually Holy Grailing, is that you... if you don't feel like grinding, you always have plenty. Stuff to like, just mess around with. Bum 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 bum. Mr. Fatso, bring me a treat. Doom 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 doom. Get me some extra lovely XP. I don't know why I call him Fatso instead of Fasto. Just, it's what works. That's up to 8%. Would like to get those up to 10%. Just for the sake of, you know, ease. So I don't think that's going to be the starsh. Act 4 and 5 are going to be quicker. Just a matter of getting to the stairs. That said, there's a few spots that it could be at. Because that's where we came in. It could be to the side of that. And unfortunately, it can be in the middle on these. It usually isn't.
It's locked.
But it can be in the middle on these if you have a hook.
It's locked.
Like, that could have actually been the stairs. It's not, because we would have been able to see them in there, but... just let them do their thing. They're finding more enemies to fight. But yeah, as far as the direction it probably is... I mean, we can drop... Oh, Jesus. We don't want to deal with that ourselves. There you guys go. I'm actually surprised Hefasto's doing as well as he is. There's the boss mob down. Chip Sapphire, yes. Okay, that's not going to be it. This could be it over here. It's always going to be in a little alcove. Question is the alcove going to be one we find soon or one that we don't? of course, it's going to be a fiddly path down here. You got him. Just don't worry about it. It's safe. Just got to not get our freaking mercenary meteor. Is the only thing that's going to kick our ass, I think. I might need to actually zoom out and look at the map to see what places we've missed. Oh, it's especially risky whenever we have a loop. I still think it's probably over on the right over there, but we're going to continue this way for now just in case. Now, I do unfortunately have a hard out today of noon. So that's about 2.5 hours. But if we don't get it today, I'll just start stream early tomorrow and we'll finish it either before Baldur's Gate or I'll start this after Baldur's Gate, one or the other. I do think the enlarged maps thing is horseshit, by the way. I thought this when they first did it. I still think it today. Don't like it. Not one bit. It just feels like it's a time-wasting mechanic rather than, oh, it's actually more challenging. No, it's literally just wasting your time. And I know that there's people who actually do think that grind should just be a lot of just mundane, do-nothing kind of situations. You're welcome to that opinion, but you're wrong. I shouldn't be that guy, but generally speaking, grinding should still provide you at least some advantage or some buff over the course of the time that you do it. Not just, oh, you're spending 12 hours killing this one enemy? Nah. Hi, guy. How you doing? I'm gonna let them kill that. I don't think it's gonna be there. I do think it's gonna be over on the right. Let's go this way. I don't think we have too many enemies left on this path. Are we looking on gold? I mean, we got 19 grand just by popping back down here, so. But yeah, do I think Reign of the Warlock is worth getting? If you like Diablo 2 or you're just getting into Diablo 2, yes. I think there are reasons to consider it. If you're just getting into Diablo 2, 100% get the Steam version, just $40 straight up, go. Whereas if you already have the game, it becomes less of a reasonable value proposition because it's $25 for the base one. You can get the full game and DLC on Steam for $40. So it's like and if you're buying them separately on, I don't know what you're doing, but
Thanks.
okay, let's back off. And take them out. Now back off over to here. Let them aggro on that. I don't know why Mercenary keeps thinking he's just going to go off and be a hero. Please do not be a hero, Mercenary. Okay. Send you guys off in there. Should be able to find some enemies to kill. Need to not randomly die to stuff as well. I keep forgetting to pay attention to my life, which is actually a problem. Can I bait Mephisto down here? I don't think I can. Might end up losing the mercenary again. That baits him in, and we get down here. Mercenary, please come through. Did we not get him? I thought we had gotten a bait on him. Okay, you guys come back down here. He is really not wanting to be baited, so we're going to have to do this pain in the ass way. Oh, Wire Fleece is actually a really good one. Poignard is also something we need to identify. Soulstone can just go in there. And I don't think we really care about any of the rest of that. Off to Act 4. Now we should start being able to just start trucking through stuff. Do want to drop down here, get a heal.
What do you need?
I don't want to be replacing Amelio very often. Okay, we need to get you to identify stuff. Yep, it is pretty solid. The interesting thing about it is if you have other % damage reduction, it can actually be kind of fun. Because it has that flat damage reduction on it and cannot be frozen. But we don't really have that kind of setup to do that kind of stuff. Okay, material-wise, we only need 27 more. 27 more pieces of lovely candy. Oh yeah, we need to... We don't need to talk to him to get the quest. We can get the quest just by killing Iswal. But if we know of the quest, it should pop up the little quest log thing whenever he's nearby. I just bumped the microphone and I apologize.
I apologize for this.
Also, if you're ever going to get into streaming, 100% invest in a good water bottle. Don't know where Mercenary got hooked, but he is hooked somewhere. And yes, we are still on Players 1. I doubt we're going to bump it back up to Players 8 until after we've beaten the game. And honestly, that amp damage probably helping keep Mercenary alive, not just because it kills stuff faster, but because you have the whole aspect of he's going to be able to leech more the more damage he does. Getting all the boss mobs right out of the gate. Get some healing in there and buffs. Buffs are always welcome. But we want to stay on the edge. 102.7, The Edge. I don't have music I can play for you guys that won't get me copyright struck, so we're not doing that, but I can pretend like I am a broadcaster. I don't have good radio voice. I have YouTube voice. I know, it's a travesty. I have nerd voice I can do. That's a whole different kind of experience, though. Nerd voice being... Oh, and we actually chose the right side for the first time. The mad scientist kind of stuff. Do we have gloams? I know not if we have gloams. We've got 2 of them. We've seen 2 of the types of enemies. What is our third? Don't know what our third is going to be. It is possible for us to still have gloams. I don't think we're gonna, but there's our third. Okay, so no, we don't have to worry about gloams. That would be a thing that would be kind of rough to add as a mod, is increase the spawn pools from just like the 3 to 4 that most places have to allow them to actually spawn their entire varieties. That would make things harder. Of course, then you'd always have the same base types, which would make this a lot better place to farm for runes. Because if you didn't know, gloams are junk droppers. They're just like ghosts and finger mages, where they are actually able to drop runes at a higher rate than normal. That is going to be Hasaru's iron. I mean, yeah, Hasaru's. Iron heal. We needed it, so it's fine. Just looking for Izzy Wizzy Wuzzy. Man who is ashamed to have done what he did, but he does it every single difficulty. That is one thing I do miss from OG Diablo 1. This has fixed quests. Doesn't matter what you do, it's always going to be the same quest list. In Diablo 1, there were actually a variety of quests that just, depending on if A triggered, you wouldn't get B kind of situations. Am I too concerned about getting the extra skill points? Not really, we don't need them, but it'll be handy whenever we start playing with other skills. Do I have any more coffee? I do not have any more coffee. I went to reach for that cup and it was just like, nope. Talking myself into another Diablo 1 playthrough. I wouldn't mind it. And how's it going, Zaldar? We technically already have 2 on the channel, and I've already reviewed Diablo 1 twice. Yes, I have reviewed Diablo 1 twice, and that does sound ridiculous, but there is a good reason for it. Happy Friday the 13th. Yeah, I do know what day of the month it is, unfortunately. But yeah, Friday the 13th. Hopefully everyone's doing all right. Not that I'm particularly superstitious. Am I suspicious? I don't know about that one. Am I superstitious? No. But yeah, Diablo 1 we actually have reviewed twice. Once for the actual Diablo 1 on PC, the GOG version specifically, and once for the PS1 version, which is oddly enough not a bad port. Your wife got decked out in her Jason gear for work this morning? Aw, sweet. Lucky. That guy is just full on angry at me. I need to kill off all his little friends first, because otherwise they're just going to be a pain in the ass. Iswal, I keep forgetting, we have Crushing Blow, so it doesn't matter how tanky the bitch is. It's their favorite holiday whenever it comes around. It's a good holiday for it to be your favorite, because it's one of the few ones that comes around multiple times a year. I love it. Your wife is a smart woman. She's playing that game. PS1 Diablo is where you started with the series. Great port, yeah. And actually, it one reason why I give it really good accolades as well is it didn't just like, oh, we're here to just convert it to controller controls and that's it. Boom, gone. They actually put quality of life improvements in it, which I think is absolutely awesome. How's it going, Zethane, by the way? Welcome to the stream. I am here convincing myself that I need to add games back to the list despite actually reviewing them twice already. If you saw my notes for like games to cover, you'd realize why I'm just like all over the place. I try and get ahead on the stuff on the Let's Play Everything channel, and I swear I'll have, okay, I'm only putting 7 in each of these. And within a month, I already have like 20 games on each little list. Rough week, but it's over now. Come to grind some cows in D2R. Ooh, hopefully you have good drops. That is one thing that I do find hilarious is the number of people that have either been watching the guides or been watching the streams and end up getting good drops. So if you're at all superstitious, stream watching while grinding is a good thing. But hopefully the drops are good. Hopefully you get a lot of runes. Because that's generally what I farm cows for, is if I want kind of mid runes. They're also good for getting bases. Be interested to see what drops this weekend. You got a low, Chem, and Vex in the last 20 or so runs. Ooh, nice. You're not superstitious, but you're a little stitious. I am just an average amount of stitious. Nothing super about it. My stitious does not wear a cape. We have been doing okay on runes and stuff. I know that there's people who have been speculating like, oh, they dropped the drop rates across the board for the DLC. They didn't. I can tell you right now, we have been getting about normal luck, because usually we'll have a handful of like really good things, but we have been actually getting better unique luck, but that's just because of the bases that we've gotten it on. There is an ad coming in about 5 minutes. You're not going to miss any story stuff because we're skipping the story stuff. I've played through this game way too many damn times on stream. We have multiple playthroughs on the main channel's archives even. Although they are unlisted, the playlists are still visible over there. As far as the playthroughs on the Let's Play Everything channel, I think we only have a couple, oddly enough. And yes, I do know people are still watching the old playlists, like Seed of Evil runs and stuff like that.
Impossible.
We have to drop back up there and put this stuff in the box. What's in the box? All the crap we don't want. Do I need to restock on anything? Not really. We can use scrolls and stuff, I guess. Yeah, low, Cham, and Vex are pretty good set of drops. Just wait until you start getting, like, Zod 2 games in a row. Been there once. Okay, kind of an odd setup. I don't know where... I think Hephasto's stuck on the stairs. He was. So we're going to start splitting them up a little bit. Just so they can deal with this massive swarm of bullcrap. Let's see. No complaints from you. You can finally give your Zealer a forward armor. You've only ever seen one Zod drop in thousands of hours you've played Diablo 2. Yeah. You kind of... You need luck even if you know how to target farm for it. If that makes sense. Because of how runes drop and stuff like that. There we go. Just the giant swarm is now done. We get them some heals. Always into the east. It's not the worst poison, but I have to say I'm not a huge fan of getting maggots down here. Mainly because it makes the entire River of Flame just take twice as long. It's not awful, it's just not as good. Do I need to have my chains up? Possibly. I could be looking for an improved Hephasto. It's about the only thing that I would be kind of going for here. Admittedly, I now have several Zods. I blame content creation for that, which is kind of, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just... You play too damn much for, like, testing builds, and you start just getting everything. I do think Zod drop rates should be improved slightly, though. And also, I think that the changes they did to freaking Sunder Charm drop rates are just bullshit. You shouldn't have to do marathon farms to, like, level up things to get certain items. If you want to put it behind a challenge wall, fine. That I can get behind. Not a time spent online wall. That is encouraging unhealthy behavior in playing the video game. Which, yes, most of us who are streamers play it in an unhealthy way. Especially people who do like 12 to 16 hour streams. Jesus. I have done those before. I don't see how some of these people do those on a consistent basis. I look at them and I'm like, how do you not have blood clots in your ass? Let's see. Full rejuve, yes. We don't want to go up that way. Will heal myself. Is that going to be 4-socket Aegis? It very well could be. Okay, so there's the ad break. You guys should be chill over there. Yeah, it is our 4-socket Aegis. A lot of people don't realize that, yes, there are multiple 4-socket shields. The reason we don't use them is because it's heavy. It requires a lot more strength, and it drains your stamina like a bitch. Come Come on, you guys got this. There you go. Yeah, for the most part, nowadays when I play this, it's mostly just to chill. And I usually play it off camera whenever I play it. This is not going to be a good one. If it was a dimensional blade, I'd be more likely to care about it, but yeah. Generally speaking, rare crystal swords and phase blades are still worth picking up in hell difficulty. The actual phase blade itself, not as much. The reason being is you want to find an ethereal dimension blade or crystal sword with really good stats. That way you can up it into a phase blade and still have it be ethereal, indestructible, and all that fun jazz, and fast. Whereas if it drops as a phase blade, it can never drop as ethereal. Boop and boop. Ooh, not bad. Not great, but not bad. There are better ones we could get. I'm going to let them clear that out without our mercenary getting into trouble, because our mercenary do struggle a bit. He's not super well equipped. He's equipped well enough. He's not just immediately getting trounced, but he's not exactly... He's not high resist or anything like that. He's just a dude. Let's see, 45% across the board. He's using an Insight Partisan still, as opposed to an Elite. Okay, so I think that might be the way we end up going. I think this is going to be the waypoint. Which means we can stop by town, we can drop stuff off, we can get our 2 skill points, because I forgot to get it last time. Hi. Thank you for putting Iswal's soul at rest. Did we really, though? He's going to come back later and haunt us. It seems like everything in this world comes back later and haunts us. Doesn't feel like anything stays dead. There, we have 1 in 10 chance of them crushing blowing.
Hello.
Do I ever plan on using the mana potions? No. Why would I? But it's nice to have that little backup just in case. We've got plenty of healing potions on our bar too, so. Now, how does our Hephasto hold up to their Hephasto? I don't know. Extra fast stone skin. He's not cursed, so we're not going to take him. I prefer our Hephasto. And no, I'm not going to put the stone in there until we've cleared out all these. Generally, that is a mistake that I have seen multiple people make, and I've made it before myself. Generally, you do not want to put the stone in there until, 1, you are in a private game, and 2, you have this area cleared out, because you can get into a whole crap ton of trouble, not be able to get all the items that were there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, not the best. We haven't gotten the best Hellforges. Most of our good drops have been just through good old classic murderizing enemy faces. How's our time looking? 2 hours. I think we can get through Act 5 and Diablo in 2 hours.
Hail to you, champion.
I keep underestimating just how strong our minions are, by the way. Which is a fatal flaw of mine, but Because I'm anticipating things going belly up a lot, and they just end up not until everything goes to crap. Like the act bosses, I keep forgetting. Crushing Blow just trivializes them. Is this a dead end? Yes, I'm still going to kill these guys because they're ranged. So, level 79. I may have to go refresh my drink, by the way. Because water ain't doing it right now. I might need some citric acid. Which means probably either some orange juice or if I can find any pineapple juice. Gets the fuzz out of my throat. Really, I'm surprised we haven't procced our shield. Because we are using authority. And that does give us the opportunity to proc Psychic Ward. Time to time. I just haven't seen it very often. Okay, and yes, we do actually want them up closer to us. That way, these guys will intercept the guys on the path. What do we have as far as the pain that we're going to be dealing with? All of it. And I do think YouTube, by the way, speaking of platforms, by the way. Oh no, I'm in the my brain has gone into by the way mode. But so that's going to be an earworm for a while, and I apologize. But on the platform end, I have noticed that YouTube is not telling me when the ads are playing. Again, I think it might have defaulted back to YouTube deciding when everything happens. So apologies if you're getting like weird ad timings on stuff. YouTube's bad at telling when to put ads in actual videos and on an automated way. It doesn't trust creators to do it. So we end up in like these really weird kind of spaces where you're probably getting ads in the middle of sentences and stuff. But I do not have the ability to keep telling them, no, don't do that.
No. What the fuck?
I can't do the accent. But yeah, I have seen those shorts in my feed way too often. We need more. Oh God, Amelia, no! Goodbye, Emilio. You will be missed. We'll get you back before Diablo. They are actually mildly dangerous. They damaged our big guy. If that was source skills, that would be interesting too. Druid skills, eh. If it was Warlock skills, that would actually be kind of fun as well because faster cast rate applies to a certain skill as opposed to increased attack speed. Do I get our friend back? I think I will. We got plenty of gold. We can afford to do it a couple times. We can be reckless and weird. It's not weird to resurrect your guy, but we can be reckless. Do I bother saving that? Not really. I have better. The only advantage that would have is if you put a socket in it. But even then, the other mods on it aren't really worth, like, wow factor or anything like that. They're not just super wow. None of them had a full rejuve on them. We might not actually hit 99 full rejuves. 99 bottles of juvies on rejuvenation potions on the wall. 99 bottles of rejuvenation potions. That doesn't keep the tempo very well. 99 bottles of hell on the wall. 99 bottles of hell. You take one down and swish it around. 98 bottles of hell on the wall. Yeah, Mercenary just does not do well on Venom Lords. Obviously, if we were actually putting the full rejuves on our belt, we could have kept him alive, but... Let me guess. Another 4-socket Aegis? Nope, a 3-socket one this time. It's scaling down. And now we just feed them a little bit of food. Yeah, I'm not going to bother getting the Mercenary back until we get to the final. The final countdown. Have I gotten streamer madness? Yes. I really have. Okay, Stone Drinker, die. That'd actually be a bad... This would have been a bad map to try to speedrun this one on. Because Might plus Fanaticism? Yeah. You guys... Yeah, kill the guy that was getting in my face. Okay, healing potions. Anybody have healing potions? We don't need the mana potion. Okay. Time for the second worst enemy here. Ta-da! Didn't even get our goat man down. Nice. I will go ahead and take all your healing potions, and I will take your chipped ruby. Go in there. Now, I could... In fact, I am going to take that, just for the extra money for resurrecting Dingus McDingus Butt. Dingus McChingus, get resurrected! Never. There we go. I do have to worry about you. At least our guys are not being extremely disobedient and bouncing around as much as they were. Whenever we were first starting with the Goatmen, they were actually getting mildly irritating because they don't have... They're still kind of that way. They don't have the ability to get super far from us. They're a little bit better, but as it stands, they were kind of rough there at the beginning. don't think these guys are going to be too tough on us. As far as this particular boss. Oh, we're going to grab you. Can you please kill the Oblivion Knight? Thank you. That is an 11% crucianing blow. Okay. So back to town. We resurrect Mercenary. Get rid of this poison on our face. You. That identified to get our cash back. This is probably going... I'm hoping this is a good staff. Could just be complete garbage. It is complete garbage. We have plenty of gold to resurrect him anyway. It's not a big deal. Okay, 79. Only 20 to go. Come to me, Emilio. Time for you to prove your worth. Ta-da! We killed him over the chasm, which kind of sucks, but it'll be fine. Now this could hurt.
Not even death can save you from me.
Look at that. Amp damage, slowed. Didn't even really scratch our guy. Okay. That is Ma'avina's. Don't have that on our list yet, so might as well grab it. That's one thing I'm going to have to do is go through and essentially Holy Grail again to get all the compendium crap done.
Good evening.
You.
I always had faith in you. You done good. Good job, hero. You only somewhat suck.
Hail to you, champion.
You're only slightly delirious from lack of caffeine. But since we have beat Act 4, I am going to go refresh my drink real quick, and I will be right back. I have returned with cheese and drink. Hopefully everyone is still doing all right. It is simply called Tropical Punch. It is pineapple, mango, orange juice, got B vitamins and stuff like that in it. Not caffeine. Mainly because I'm out of my coffee. I literally do not have any more in there. I need to get some more. But I have literally 2 pieces of cheese. Little bite-sized ones. Obviously, they take a little bit to chew, though. But Act 5 it is. I am not looking forward to going up this hill, especially if we got cats. Cats are going to pierce our dudes and be a... I'm going to actually have to dodge, which sucks. That's the main thing I don't like about the cats. There we go. Off into the abyss we go.
This is all hell could marshal for.
Okay, we got vultures and archers. Cool. Could be worse. Could be way, way, way worse. Now, is it worth a ton of XP? Not really, but if we just stick up against the wall, we should be okay to not be too stressed about going through here. We'll probably lose our mercenary on the way up. We're probably not going to revive him until we get to the ancients. And yes, our minions are actually fairly well equipped for the ancients. We just need to avoid dying ourselves. Other than that, not much to worry about. Crushing blow. Busted. For Sephasto, also fairly well busted. Do I have much to fear out of these guys? Not really. Our main issue is I'm going to get cocky and get out of position and get popped by one of them. Because I personally am fairly fragile. It's just my minions that are basically gods. So as long as they can body check them, I don't really have much to worry about. Yoink, yoink, yoink. We did get amp damage there. That means I'm even more fragile now. And yeah, he can't leech off of these guys. That's why I said Mercenary's probably going to die at some point.
Thanks.
I'll give him healing potions as we go, but it's probably not going to work. Need to switch. Which ear is open now? Because even though I am using headphones, I still only put it in one ear. Well, on one ear. Mainly so I can regulate at least a little bit of the volume of my voice. I do actually have problems with that, but not that big of a deal. Okay, so you take that out. Now we get back up against the wall. Take out anything that's shooting at our mercenary. Can't save all the barbarians. They do get their butts handed to them. Now, am I going to do another playthrough of Diablo 1 or 3 or 4? I might do one of 4. I just don't really want to get all the DLC for it. I know that's kind of cheap of me. It's just one of those things where they haven't quite gotten it to using Diablo 3 as an example. It was rough for a very long time until they released, I'm forgetting the name of the expansion pack. The one with the angel guy as the big bad. It was pretty rough until then. Okay, do I need more healing potions? Yes. We're gonna need them for pretty much the entirety of this act because we're just gonna be taking just collateral damage the entire time. Okay, so there is Big Bad. Our demon is actually getting hurt. Our Hephasto. Okay, can I get this in on Shank? There we go. Now we should be clear. Really am surprised we didn't lose Doodle on that. Okay, only one healing potion off of him. That sucked. And yeah, the radius of his death is actually not as big as it used to feel. It used to feel really big because we had lower resolution. So we were only able to see, like, out to here. So it always felt like, oh, he's wiping out everything on screen and a little bit past. And now it's like he's wiping everything in the center of the screen and nothing else. Localized destruction. Do I go for the extra resists today? I might not. I don't feel like dealing with the gloams. They are pretty decent to deal with, but I mean, it's a pretty decent thing to get, but do I really care about it? Is it going to greatly impact the rest of the playthrough? Not really. There you go, Larzik. That's enough for another resurrection in case we need it. And into the abyss. I'm going to take another drink real quick. I think I might have gone a little bit too long before going to get that. Now, we could go for the corpse explosion one. It is there. I just don't feel like it. We are already pretty well broken. I don't need to add corpse explosion to the formula. Okay, now here's the question. Is it going to be horizontal or is it going to be a vertical one? If it's horizontal, going along this wall is good. If it's vertical, it's not. Okay, spears. Okay, you guys suck. But it's not the worst. Ah, it's vertical. Still, going along this wall is not bad on a vertical. We've been getting more and more vertical ones as well, kind of funnily enough. Biolancers, pretty good thing to bind to. Because they're very aggressive and very much in your face. The archers are good if your mercenary is tanky enough. Ours isn't going to be until after we get done with the run, and I'll just transfer normal gear over to them. We've already proven that this character can go through pretty much anything and not really worry about it. That is something that he has over other classes, without a doubt. We're still doing really solid damage against everything with this Hephasto. I think for a new player, it's not going to be as busted because you're not going to know what things to kind of nab. Because AI patterns are a pretty decent thing that gets impacted. I mean, a decent thing you have to consider. There we go. I can use words. Especially English ones. To explain complex concepts. For I am a human being, not a machine. How much easier would life be if I were a machine, though? Load me up onto a server somewhere and say, you are here forever and you don't have to have existential dread. But where would the fun in life be without existential dread? I say that because I'm not paying too much attention to it, but I have, for those of you wondering, my secondary monitor has Discord, YouTube chat, Twitch chat, all of my OBS stuff, all that kind of stuff. I'm literally sitting here watching somebody get into an argument over AI stuff and the dystopian nature of the world at the moment. So it's like, okay, yep, existential dread, it's definitely creeping in over there. Should I change the channel on it? Probably. Am I going to? Not really. I have survived worse. I am an elder millennial. I have seen the world crumble into a dystopian world multiple times. Once in a lifetime trauma every single year. No longer once in a lifetime if it's every other weekend. Welcome to the internet. Okay, I'm hoping this is a vertical because I'm going to just go up this side. If it's not a vertical, we're going to have a repeat of what we did down below where we followed the stone wall of doom. Doom, I say, doom. Doom, da-doom, doom. I do find it sad that he's taking 2 hits to go through that. Demon Heart is a Source Orb. I don't actually have a chase one of those yet. That one's not bad. Not good either. I'm slightly curious how much it's going to sell for. Probably not much. Mainly because, for some reason, orbs and stuff like that do not sell for much. Same for Necro Heads. I do find it annoying that Necro Heads, Source Orbs, and now Daggers, sadly, are actually kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to shop for, although Daggers do actually spawn on merchants, so I shouldn't complain too much. I just wish that they hadn't closed off our access to early goals. That made farming a little bit more reasonable for more casual players. But that is not where it's going to be. The reason it made farming easier for casual players is you really could save up 1,000,000 gold and get yourself a decent magic find weapon by doing a low-level gold character. And yeah, I'm just keeping those as crafting jewels. That's just a habit. Whenever you need to make 1,000 freaking crafted amulets, you kind of do learn that, hey, I need to just be saving those constantly. Obviously, it doesn't work that well online, And that's why you need to kind of batch process them online. But as far as... And yeah, we are just skipping through these areas. If we find the waypoint first, awesome. If not, tough nuggies. Oh god, this is actually kind of sketch. I'm backing up from it. We'll get them all on this one front. Lightning enchanted stone skin, that is actually fine. Yeah, that was just like this is giving me bad vibes. 2 minion packs either side of the opening, and one of them is freaking Frenzy Tours? Nah. There went Mercenary. He survived for longer than I thought he would in all this. We'll get him back before the Ancients. Okay, let's duck up this way. But yeah, you can see it's even damaging Hephasto the God. Which is always a little bit scary. Skill Shrine, not too concerned about it. It wouldn't be bad, but... we're not going down after What's-Her-Face. We are literally charging towards the end. Because I do have a hard out in an hour and a half. I'm going to drop you guys there. Don't have to deal with whatever's in that room. Looks like a decent number of enemies. There is still an ice boy in there. But yeah, we're probably going to have to go over that way to keep on the wall. That's a dead end, but we don't want to accidentally retreat up that path and have like a whole slew of enemies in there either. Glacial Trail. I think we get snakes in here, which could be problematic. No, still just all bones. It's actually not a bad thing. All bone enemies. It sucks whenever you're using your mercenary still, but whenever it comes to just normal enemies, nah. We don't get stressed about this one. And I did not hear that gem drop because I was shifting my headphones around. Didn't have them on for most of that little fight. Okay, what do we have up there? Probably more pain. Why did that sound like snakes? Yep, it's snakes. All these MFN snakes on this MFN plane. Still not as bad as Neelithax snakes. Neelithax snakes are bastards. And yeah, since I'm hiding behind walls, I'm going to probably not be on the lethargy. Oh, we got... Okay, gloom bats, bones, and snakes. Snakes are the only dangerous thing here. Unless we get just, like, completely caught out of position. Everything else is just whatever. And yes, we have gotten enough gold to resurrect a mercenary again. God, I love chance cards. There's such wonderful little additions to the list. Okay, there's the waypoint. And what's bothering my ear right now is I literally have a hair that keeps curling back into it. I need to trim my hair. Okay, the reason I came up here is I can do this. My positioning can be as bad as I want it to be whenever there is a giant freaking wall between me and the enemies. Yep, I do see skeletons behind me, but they don't have piercing attacks. Yes, I see you guys. Oh, nah, nope, that's not it. It's not a bad place to go, but it's not a place I'm interested in. It's a gold chest, probably locked. We don't have keys. It, as such, does not freaking matter. Because nothing really matters. Second time I've sung that song, damn it. Okay, did you guys find any more enemies on that side of the wall? You did. Although that's a dead end. They're probably not going up that path. We're probably going to go straight up this one. Main reason I'm afraid of the snakes is simply because they have a piercing attack that goes through and can get me even though I'm cowering in fear behind my allies. The rest of these can do more damage, but they're not that scary. Because they're usually going to be distracted by the big guy with the hammer smacking them in the face rather than the little creepy dude in the background smiling menacingly. Do, 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 do. I did think about streaming earlier today when I was getting some other work done, by the way. I wasn't kidding whenever I said that's probably going to become a bit of a tick today. But as far as, because I was working mostly on some D&D stuff earlier, I did get a video recorded for the Let's Play Everything channel today. It's currently still processing, though. That's why it's not in members first. Because on the Let's Play Everything channel, I do actually try and release things members first whenever they're just done being uploaded. Obviously, I don't do it constantly because either it's still processing or I have like 5 things processed at once, in which case I just set it to members first in the morning before I get ready for stream and stuff like that, before I do my morning recordings, etc. Usually I aim for about 12 hours early, if not a little bit longer. I think the most that I will do it nowadays is 24 hours out. Because I realized how it's showing up in your feeds is completely tacky if I do a whole bunch of them all at once. Like if I record a week's worth of videos ahead of time, put them all members first and then have them trickle out, you guys get just your feed wasted with this is a members only video. It's not members only. Nothing on Let's Play Everything is strictly members only. At least not right now. I'm not barring the idea of doing a members only thing there, but it's members first. There they go. Murderizing, destroying. I'm running past these because I don't feel like dealing with the teleporting bastards. It ain't fun. I want that and that. Grab the giant pile of gold. Let him eat his way through everything else over there. And as long as I keep the door up when we're doing stuff like that, it's fine. Now, dipping through these, it might actually be better to dip through the middle. Because then we have a little bit of wiggle room on each side to just deal with the teleporty mages and crap like that. I do wonder. That might actually bypass the nonsense. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's getting the 1/5 penalty from whatchamacallit. Okay. In here, we want to go get our mercenary back.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yada yada yada. There is Emilio back. We'll identify that. That's actually a good one. We have just a 4 resist on something here? Yeah, we do. You, for now, I think are the one we replace. We go with that. 1% fire resist. Yeah. Look at how close we are getting to 99 on both our rejuves. Actually makes me kind of happy. We might actually get there.
What do you need?
Okay, as far as anything else we want to be getting here, I don't think there's anything else we're missing. I will drop a new town portal right here. We're looking for the waypoint, and then we're going to go get the boss. Oh, and someone just did a super chat. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. It doesn't actually show a message with it, so otherwise I would take a nod for that, but Hopefully your day is going well. I appreciate it. It does help out a ton. Really, every little bit helps at this size. Now, if I was like, say, freaking Moist Critical size or something like that, I totally would just like turn that stuff off and just go solely on ads. Because that keeps it free for everybody, but unfortunately, I am not one of them, that kind of content creator. I am not quite the size and scale to be able to pull stuff like that. Honestly, if I was, I would probably be one of those people that goes around and just like subtly just donates to the people that I think are bringing good things to the gaming scene. One of my dreams, this is going to be a really tacky one, is like if I were to be like Moist Critical size, we're talking just that like, or even like the Green Brothers size, big enough that you are not really ever having to worry about that kind of stuff again, I would 100% be going the route of, toss those in there, trying to bring up a certain number of like new creators every single month kind of thing, and also try and get certain games that may not have the resources to get them released, because there are actually a lot of good games that sadly get brushed under the rug because they're not roguelites or not incrementals or not something that is platform friendly for YouTube or Twitch. And that doesn't mean like adult games. That means literally like there are retro styled games that are really good and really well done. It's just they don't get anywhere near the coverage because 20,000 games released last year on Steam alone. Kind of situation. Kind of limits the ability for them to be discovered by their fans. So if they could just actually focus in on making the game, not worrying about freaking feature creep or having to include a roguelite mode or having to cater to what is the most clickable this week kind of stuff, and just focusing on making their good game, that would be a dream of mine as well, to be able to actually kind of support that. Do I think I'll ever reach that amount? Probably not. I don't think that is realistic for most people, myself included, to actually aspire to. I just think it is one of those good pipe dreams. Pie in the sky. Maybe someday before I die kind of things. That's one thing that I don't really understand about like millionaires and billionaires. I wish I could just like pop into their heads. Millionaires not so much, but billionaires especially. Millionaires, it's more kind of like you can be a millionaire and not actually be well off these days. But I kind of would love to just kind of dip into their heads and figure out what kind of stuff that they are thinking about that keeps them from actually being able to do these good things that they're fully possible of doing. Thank you for the compliment. I do greatly appreciate it, and it really does warm my heart to hear that. I'm not sure I have the personality to really push myself to that level, because I do generally try to focus on the games. I am glad that the videos do bring you joy. And thank you again for the tips. And for joining the tip jar. Diablo 2 sounds fun today. Yeah, Diablo 2 is one of my comfort food games. realistically, I could stream it every day and be content. But I do want to show off other games. That's why today is going to be the day we beat Diablo 2's Warlock run. We're probably gonna, I don't think we'll have time before I actually have to like leave, unfortunately, because real life, it interrupts things. But we will probably come back to him and play around with kind of our post-game gear on him. Mess around a little bit. I still think Necromancer is my favorite class. Yes, Warlock is stronger. Yes, Warlock does a lot of the things absolutely better than the Necromancer and just shows him up everywhere, but Necro is my friend. He is where I belong. Okay.
What an aesthetic.
Who do we focus in on first, guys? I think Maddock is going to be the bitch. So we're going to focus in on Maddock. Get rid of him. Try not to get whacked ourselves. Probably going to lose a mercenary during this. Yep, there went... Oh! Mercenary, I think, took out... Yeah, Mercenary took one of them out. Okay, groovy. Thorns are your friend! That is our level up. To 80. I'm gonna just keep going Death Mark for the Goatmen. Mercenary value pretty low now. He's not bad, but pretty much there's only one situation where he's gonna be really useful before the end of the difficulty. So he is extra now. Extra. But yes, thank you again for the super chat. Let's see. Now I just need to find the stairs down from here. Pray that level 2 is not Gloam. There is a high likelihood it will be Gloam. But I'm hoping it's not. I would much rather just deal with super poison than Gloam. Okay, so this floor, not too bad. You have a little bit of an odd combo, but nothing terrible. Joink. That's another dead end. We don't care about even just lingering there for 5 more seconds. Bit of an odd layout on this one. Usually the stairs are kind of near the center. Is this going to be a 4-socket superior ward? Oh, it's an ethereal one. Ooh. It's like it's tempting me to make a freaking, whatchamacallit, Act 3 mercenary. No, you don't get to come to my face. Get. Say get. Oh, now I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. Ooh. Where the dude's standing in the middle of the town yelling at him to get. The guy comes out shooting and just missing. And then gets blasted by the cannon. If I remember correctly, the guy who's yelling "get" dies at the end of the movie. But for a good cause. If I'm remembering correctly. This is another dead end, but I'm going to let them finish that off. 'Cause that... for having our lightning resist. We could go sell it for gold to get our mercenary back. I'm not going to worry about it. Will I do guides on this? That is a bit of a dilemma for me. I do think that other people are better qualified to be doing the guides for this because they have the community that has already dissected all this stuff. I do have more information than just somebody who's casually playing through. I do know how to dig out other information, but it's one of those things where I don't think I can really add much to the conversation in this case. With the base classes, I enjoyed covering the classes and variants that, frankly, a lot of people were just kind of ignoring. There's a lot of cool variants. I don't have any concepts of the variants of this that we haven't already seen pop out. At least that would be interesting to cover. I mean, sure, I could cover a Cleave Warlock, but is a Cleave Warlock really where we're at? Is that really that interesting? Is that really something that different? Because we already have people who have done the Fire Warlock, the Miasma Warlock, Summoner, and the... where is it? The Echoing Strike. Echoing Strike is probably getting nerfed. I wager the summons are going to get nerfed as well. Call it a hunch, but I do think they are going to get nerfed. They're just not... they're just a little bit overtuned. They're not in line with other summons. I wouldn't mind seeing Necromancer summons getting a buff instead. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint. Not that I have any friends at Blizzard these days. Oh, lovely. For those of you wondering, I actually used to know people who worked at Blizzard. A lot of DMs, I mean, not DMs, GMs, I believe is what they called them there. But that is ages past, and they no longer work there. Most of them have either moved on to, oh god, the Googs, or on to greener gaming pastures. So, yeah, I don't have connections there, and I don't really make friends there because I do criticize Blizzard. Because, frankly, they do a number of things that need to be called out. And also, I am more on the YouTube side than I am on their Twitchy side. As far as Diablo 2 stuff goes. And Blizzard in general, whenever it comes to their social media outreach, are very heavily focused in on Twitch. They don't really do much to acknowledge the YouTube side of things. It's kind of unfortunate. They do restrict what you can release on the YouTube side if you get into agreements with them. As far as like when you can release it, say embargoes and stuff like that. They do actually acknowledge that YouTube exists in that regard. It's just whenever it comes to, I did not mean to drink that, but that's fine. Whenever it comes to who they reach out to, it is pretty much guaranteed to be Twitch focused. And I think that, oddly enough, bit them in the ass with Diablo 4 a little bit. Funnily enough. Because they focused in on some Twitch people that were, yes, they were bigger on Twitch, but they had already said that they didn't like the direction Diablo 4 was going. So it's like, okay, they provided an press key. cool, it gets some more traction, but they're still going to just talk shit about it day one. For me, I think Diablo 4 was fine. The itemization was crap. And the story was very MacGuffin-y. And, oh, you're just 1 second too late constantly. Diablo 2, you feel like you have reached a layer of the enemy and you are taking out a chunk of them. Okay, so I need to eat corpses. Do I get Mercenary back for Worldstone? I might. For the throne? Yeah. Obviously, we're already in Worldstone right now. Can you not be a pain in the ass, Defiler? I hate it whenever they're champion defilers or champion nests. Just because it just feels ridiculous to run into. I have just found champions who are too lazy to fight on their own. We even have minion ones. God. Okay, Amrune. That's going to be our little stash there full. So whenever we go back up, we can empty our stash and we can deal with that. I'm actually kind of curious what video you ended up finding my stuff through. Because I know for the Let's Play Everything channel, most people have been finding it either through Cola LLC or through the RPG streams. A lot of the views on the rest of the stuff has been just regular viewers coming from those sources. YouTube's algorithm, it is strange and mysterious sometimes, though. And who knew that Al Gore had so much rhythm? That he is everywhere. I mean, he did invent the internet after all. And yes, I am being facetious. The snarkasm is strong in this soul. Okay, town portal just to be safe. Obviously, we're not too concerned about resources. Pit Lord, good sign. There's 2 enemy types that can spawn on this floor that we do not want to see. That is Gloam and the dolls. The reason being is you can have Akmel will resurrect them. I don't know why I'm even bothering to keep those at this point. Because I'm not going to use them. I have better charms I can just transfer over. Okay, so we've only seen one of... it's Gloams. And snakes. That's a combo. Not a bad combo. It could be way worse. We could have gotten freaking greater mummies. In which case, I probably would have been just like, screw this, we're re-entering. And I forgot to resurrect Mercenary. No. Let's go resurrect him. He deserves to be here for this. He was a good mercenary. He has served us well.
Besting the
Give me back Emilio. Let us dump it into shared. We really? Yeah. All the 5s. Now, obviously, I could just transfer in the stuff to deal with gloves. It is really just get kitted out and you're fine. But I want to do it with the stuff we could have farmed or stuff we did farm. This is the wave that I'm not looking forward to because it's probably going to kill Mercenary. Well, I was meaning to send that to Mercenary, but suck it. I freaking hate Akmel whenever we have freaking Gloams. Mainly because it does just keep resurrecting the little bastards. And unfortunately, we can't really overcome the poison. Because he has jacked up freaking poison enchant.
How may I be of help?
There. Still negative poison resist, but slightly better.
afternoon.
I just don't like it resurrecting the freaking Gloams. They are by far one of the worst things to see that resurrect. I need to be eating the corpses, oddly enough. Full rejuve. Did Mercenary get poisoned and all that? He did not. Well, I'll be damned. This one, the Hydras can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but nothing too severe. Yeah, he's... Only wave that he's really actually going to be good against is going to be Lister, and even then I think we're going to be better off just without him. Which just feels bad. I'll resurrect him before we leave, though. Face only a mother could love. Might Venoms. Let's go ahead and eat some corpses to speed them up. The big thing that Lister's going to do is stagger and stun. So he's going to be able to be a pain in the ass. It's one reason why Thorns are good against him, but I think Mercenary will just get eaten by him anyway. Come on. Yep, they went through it. There we go. Don't want to be in the middle of it. I just want them to focus fire on like one or two guys. Get him, get Lister. Actually, doesn't really matter which one you go after first. They can all stun. Okay. Now it is time for Bail! On the End of Hell difficulty.
Creation itself. Fascinating.
Come on, get your crushing blows. He's taking a little longer than Nightmare, at least. Between amp damage and the lethargy, though, I think he might actually be at negative 100%. Because he's not physical immune. So neither of these are getting the penalty from 1/5. 20% penalty, so... I think we're good. He's not, oddly, I am really surprised he didn't swap into like a teleport mode or tentacle mode. He is literally just in brawl mode, which is hilarious to me. Take the walking stick, we'll take the jewel. Those of you wondering what that is, there you go. Tooth row. Not my favorite. It's fine. It's one of those things like, oh, cool. God, that looks awful on us. But, yeah, it's a unique armor that's pretty much, there's a reason it's overlooked. So we're going to come grab all the gold on the floor. We're going to resurrect our friend. I'm going to equip the other stuff, and maybe I'll have a redeem where we'll do like a cow run or something like that via Twitch or something. That way we have an excuse to play this during streams or during breaks.
You are the destruction.
Resurrect Emilio. Ta-da-da-da-da. Now to get everything equipped up. And I'll just manually identify this stuff.
The ancient.
Energy and... cool. That just goes there. You go into the shared stash. We got room. We got up to 95 full rejuves. We did not. No, get 99. It's fine. As far as gear goes, for this build, I think we'd want Obsession, Enigma. I didn't swap over a Harlequin crest, which is kind of a mistake on my end. That was me just being a Dumas. War Travelers. Dual Stone of Jordans seems like a good pick. Arachnid Mesh. Mara's. So we've got that. Mercenary, you get... I think you get Fortitude.
I'll put that to good use.
We'll give you the better insight.
I'll put that to good use.
Although it's not that much better. And get him that.
I'll put that to good use.
That said, this is actually not a bad helmet. We got really crappy on the life leech end of it, but
I'll put that to good use.
you know what? I'll leave it on there. Why not? So now we should be able to actually summon another one of you guys. Yeah, we have 3. Oh, it only works off of base level. Ew. No, it's Hephasto. It's not even a Hell Hephasto. It is a Nightmare Hephasto. So he could be stronger. I think I would still rather have an Udar with good mods, but it's fine. Let's see. Go there. And is anyone actually doing Diablo 2? Actually, there is somebody we haven't rated in a while. Or raid think I spelled that right. We did! Yay. Okay, we're going to raid Acrylic because they raided us recently. They're doing Project Zomboid. Pretty good game. We haven't raided them in a while. They've raided us a few times, and I didn't get to return the favor. So hopefully you guys had fun with this. I might put up a redeem so you guys can request that we run like cows or something like that with this one. I will probably drop in on it with like a bonus stream somewhere and get footage of high end for each of the different subtypes of Warlock and stuff like that. But we got to return to JRPGs and stuff like that soon. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining in. Keep gaming, have fun. Peace out. This has been Alzorath. I think we're doing Baldur's Gate 2 tomorrow. Bye.